let's make a nest box. For this you'll need an oil keg, something to cut, but not this. Get rid of that. If you have a box cutter, that will be good. A handsaw, or what we in Trinidad call a hack saw. If you have none of those, you can also just use a regular old kitchen knife. These containers are not very difficult to cut, so a kitchen knife would work just fine. You may also like to use a marker to indicate where you're going to cut. So if you want to cut here, you draw a little line and probably get a ruler, but I won't be using that. I will be cutting along the seam of the oil container, so therefore I won't actually need to mark my lines. There's more than one way that you can make a nest box from an oil keg, and I'm going to demonstrate two of those ways for you today. Two different designs that you can work with. I went a little past the seam here, but that's okay. I don't think the rabbits would mind. I'm doing this to demonstrate that it can be done with a knife. It is not the ideal tool to use it with, but if that's what you have, it's still doable, so don't fuss about it. The knife I'm using has a serrated edge, so it does help. And done. What you would want to do though is neaten these edges up. I did not draw a line, so it's not perfectly straight. And there we go. For the next part, we are going to drill some holes. Where you drill your holes is entirely up to you. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be in any particular order. The purpose of the holes are to encourage ventilation, especially seeing that we live in a tropical climate. Ventilation is going to be very important. The holes also allow urine and feces to drop through, so the kids will not be living in their own excrement. You do want to drill these holes around the entire container. And there we are. We are done. This is the nest box. It will not be ideal for those that say cross 10 pounds. It's going to be a little too small for them. But with an average size New Zealand white, though this kit is perfect. There are larger size containers that you can use to create your nest box. If you get your hands on them, that'll be great. It will allow the door more room to go in. It's a little congested here, but it does get the job done. The last part is to clean up where you cut your holes, neaten it up, and make it nice inside for the dough. But that is it. This is food grade because it contains cooking oil. What you'll want to do is use some warm soap water to clean the inside of the container to get rid of any remnants of the oil that was in it. This is nest box number 1. And we are finished in under 2 minutes. For nest box number 2, we are going to be creating 2 nest boxes out of 1 container. So for the first nest box, 1 container gave you 1 nest box. For this, 1 container is going to give you 2 nest boxes. We could get rid of the cover, don't need that. And we'll be using our handsaw, aka in Trinilingo, hacksaw. And we're going to cut the entire thing in half. Again, I'm using the seam of the container, going all the way around that line there, following that line all the way around. The most difficult area to cut is usually around where the cover is. The plastic is a little thicker than it is around the body of the container. And there you have it. We have ourselves 2 nest boxes. Just gonna drill the holes now, and this job will be done. And for those of you wondering, I used a 5/16 drill bit with a point. I recommend using one that has a point. It will make drilling a whole lot easier. And if you got to this point, I suggest you watch the video over here where I talk all about nest boxes and why you should be using one.